Welcome to That's So Us
with Ama.
and Lo.
Join us every Friday as we talk about everything and anything.
From pop culture to mental health to life experiences.
Everyone needs a vent session, and we're ready to connect with you on so many levels.
Be ready to laugh and even cry. Grab some tissues and a drink.
And join us as we turn our 3 a.m. calls into this podcast.
Hey guys.
Hello.
We're back.
Yes.
Highs and lows. I feel
Oh,
like
my
I don't
high.
have... Go ahead.
Well, when you're listening to this, my trip's going to be already halfway done. But when we're recording this, I leave in like 4 days, I think. So that's exciting. I'm excited. I'm just like, again, sad to like leave my dog because I just feel bad because they don't know what's happening and like they don't understand. It makes me feel sad for him. And I also have to pack, which I still haven't really thought about at all. And then whenever I tell people I'm just doing carry-on, they're like, oh, like, how are you going to bring everything? And then it makes me stress. So, yeah.
Girl, if I could do it, you could do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's like my motivation.
You just have to roll super tightly and shove it.
That's
it
what
may
I'm going to do.
get stuck and your lock may break.
Not that.
Yeah. It was worth it because I didn't have to pay for anything.
No, exactly. And like also like the amount of times luggages get lost too, like with my luck, like it would get lost. And because
true.
I'm not staying in one spot, yeah, like
You have
they're
really
never gonna
bad
find
luck with
me.
that.
Yeah, so they're never gonna find me, and then like I'm gonna have no clothes, and I'm gonna have to wear the same clothes every day. Obviously not, but yeah. So just safer all around. What about you?
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I have a high or a low. I've
Okay,
been chilling, just working.
that's good.
But
Making
all the
money.
kids, yeah, trying at least. All the kids, they went back to well, not all of them, but some of them, the older ones went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
So we have just like the little babies now.
Aw.
But so it's kind of a little more quieter with the older kids gone, which is
Yeah,
better, I think. But then it's kind of sometimes boring when they're like sleeping.
yeah. Because like, what do you
Then I
do?
have
You
like,
just sit there?
yeah, really little to do. No, I have to actually like clean like
Okay.
things. So I mean, I have stuff to do, but I just like don't want to do it. I'd rather like actually be with the kids.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that. Oh, I don't feel that, but yeah, I get it. What's like a goal that you have for the month of September?
Oh gosh. All right, do you have your answer?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, I think to do more things. Like I was telling my mom today, like not even like like go out or anything, like to just like when I come back from my trip, I want to like make it like or in my routine to like once a week go work from like a coffee shop or something else because like I've noticed
Yeah.
because I work from home like all the time in the same
Hmm.
spot for like hours upon hours and I get like stir crazy sometimes. So I think like just going like somewhere to work for like even half a day or something could be
That's
fun. So I
true.
think that's something that
Yeah.
I want to implement until there's snow. When there's snow, I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Very true. I actually think that's a good idea because I remember there's one time I was waiting in line at a venue and like
Mhm.
nobody was in line, so I was just like roaming around with my sister and we were reading in like a really cute little area and I was like I
Yeah.
should do this more often, just like sit and read like in like random
Mhm.
places because I got literally through a whole book. I think it was Verity at the time I was reading and it was so good and I just like sat and read. So
Yeah,
I
because
think it's a
having a
good
change of
idea.
scenery is just good for you in general.
Yeah.
And yeah. And even if like I don't like really most of my friends, like some of them are in school, some have like 9 to 5. So even if I'm just by myself, I really don't care. I just like don't want to be like
Hmm.
in the same spot every day.
Yeah. I agree. Goal. I feel like for me, I've been not even eating out that much, but just like not eating the healthiest that I could be eating, I
Mhm.
think. So I want to go grocery shopping and like meal prep or like every night, like make like a different meal. So
Okay.
that's my goal.
That's fun. Yeah, no,
And I
I
actually
feel
like
that.
cooking. So
Yeah. Mhm.
I just feel like I don't have the, like, I want my own space to be doing it in.
Yeah.
So then I don't do it because it's not my own. And then I would also have like I mean, I don't have to, but because I'm a nice person, I would have to cook for like 3 other people, so
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I feel that.
See?
Yeah, like I eat like fairly healthy, but like also I just have stomach issues, so like I'm trying to figure out what hurts my stomach, but it's so hard
Mhm.
to just figure it out, like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
it's such trial and error. You have to write down everything you eat every single day, then figure out when your stomach hurts, see what's in common. I'm like, "Oh my god," like, I feel like I'm doing, like, a science experiment. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Aw.
So, that's my
Um,
life.
I was gonna say something, but as we know, my mind goes blank all the time.
Oh, it's okay, me too. Apparently, I have holes in my memory, so
Holes in your memory.
yeah. But it's like, it's so weird because it's all, like, past stuff. Like, I think I have, like, long-term memory loss, which is not even I'm not even, like, exaggerating or joking. I feel like I just have that because I remember,
Mhm.
like, so clearly, like, things that happened, like, within the last, like, 4 or 5 years, but, like, anything before that, it's all, like, there's holes everywhere. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Or maybe I'm just old.
I was gonna say, I feel like that kinda just happens as you, like, grow up, though,
Yeah.
I
Mm,
think,
yeah.
because it
Old
happens to
age.
me, so
Old
or
age.
maybe we're just abnormal.
I heard it's also a trauma response. So I don't
That's true
know.
too,
I
yeah.
don't know, but
Could be.
yeah. Do you have a song of the week?
Let me check. What have I been listening to?
Mine right now is it's Bad Idea, right? By Olivia Rodrigo. It's like just stuck in my head and all the TikToks I see
Mm.
for it too, and I'm like, it kinda hits.
I don't know if it's my favorite, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not my
It's
favorite song
very
by hers, but I can't stop, like, saying the fucking chorus, even though I don't even relate to it, but it's just, like,
oh, yeah, you're
stuck in
right.
my you know when those songs are,
Yeah,
like,
you're
stuck in
right.
your head, but they're not, like, the best song you've ever heard?
Uh-huh.
That's what the
It's
vibes
very,
are.
like, talky. Like, she's
Mhm.
not really
It's very
singing.
different.
It's very different, but it's giving more, like, jealousy, whatever it is.
Mhm.
That one, or, like, brutal kind of vibes,
Yeah.
which is fine. Those aren't my favorite on the album, but I don't know. I don't know if I love it, but I will say it is catchy.
Yeah. Like, I literally don't even know half the song. I just know the chorus part, and it's just yeah, in my head.
I don't even know what I've been listening to other than, um, the song that I did last week, and Madison,
Mhm.
and my Staring Off into the Sunset, playlist on Spotify. Oh, actually, this one's good. It's called Mirror by Madison Ryan Ward. It's really good.
I haven't heard it. I'll have to listen to it.
I think her tone is so, like, different.
You love that.
Yeah, great song.
But yeah. You picked this topic too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, because we did, um, Am I the Asshole? Reading Reddit stories. And so now I thought we could read paranormal experiences.
Yes.
So let's get right into it. Which, okay, first, I know we kind of low key got into this, but like,
Mhm.
if you want to share or have anything to share, like maybe one story of your own, if you like have had any experience with like
Yeah.
paranormal stuff.
Yeah, I've had a few that I remember, but the one that's, like, stuck in my mind all the time is with my grandfather when he passed away. I think I've told you this one, where, when you go to the funeral homes and they give you, like, the picture with their picture on it, basically the thing with their picture on it, I don't know
Mhm.
what it's called. And I got one, obviously, and I took it and I brought it home and I put it in my room, and I went to bed that night, and when I was, like, laying there, like, I saw his, like, a figure. I don't know
Mhm.
if it was a body or, like, what it was, a figure with his face on it sitting on my, like, desk chair, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like,
Yeah.
I was low key scared too. I was, like, 10. So then I was like, "Whatever." I closed my eyes and I turned my body around, but when, like, you feel something looking at you? That's how it
Mm.
felt like. So then I turned again and it was just, like, sitting there, okay? And then I
That's
called my
so
mom because I was
creepy.
scared, and she didn't see nothing, okay? And she's like, "Oh, Amanda, whatever, like, you're just, like, overthinking it, like, go to bed." So I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay," and it was gone when she came in the room, so I was like, "Okay, maybe, like, I'm just crazy because whatever, like, it's one of the first, like, dead bodies that I, like, really saw and, like, understood what was happening."
Yeah.
And I went back to lay down, and then she left, and then I saw it again. I was like, "This is, like,
Oh
so,
my
like,
god.
creepy," and I didn't know what to do, and then, like, something in me was like, "Take that picture and, like, bring it outside." So I brought it
Mhm.
outside of my room in the hallway, and then it was gone. So I don't know.
That is creepy.
Yeah, but then I was like, when I was older, I was doing research. I was looking things up, and I read that, like, kids are, like, more capable of seeing ghosts than adults.
Yeah.
So
No, 100%. One of my craziest stories with this is, like, I used to watch this little kid, and he was 3, but he was such a smart 3-year-old, like,
mhm,
so, so smart. And, he was, like, one of the first ones, well, it was at the daycare, so he was one of the first ones to, like, come. It was just me and
yeah,
him sitting on the couch, and he looks out into my backyard, and he was just like, "I knew a dog once named Sophie too, that died," or something like that. And my old dog, my family dog, her name was Sophie, and she died, and we
oh,
buried her in my backyard. And it was the craziest thing ever. I started tearing up because I was like, what 3-year-old
that's wild.
randomly says the
Yeah,
exact same name, knows where it's buried, and is looking in that direction, and says that like it died. Like, oh, it was so crazy. But also the other day, I was thinking about my dog, and then I was like, oh, like sad about it, like crying. And then Shannon randomly, she was like, "You know what I was thinking about today? Sophie." And I was like, "Bro, that's so weird because I was thinking about her today too." And it's
that's
so weird.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, like, kids, like, can see things, which is
No, yeah, I think
scary.
so too. Yeah, it is really creepy.
When I was younger, I would also, like, just see, like, figures at my door. I don't know what they were, but yeah,
That's scary.
yeah. I found one if you want. I can
Okay,
start.
sure.
Okay, so the title just says my experience. And then it says I, 19-year-old male at the time, and a couple of buddies went to this creepy house down the street. Like almost every neighborhood, there was that one house that nobody lived in and looked super creepy looking. To be honest, I don't think I have one like that. Um, so being the dumb kids we were, my best friend and my buddy from work went to what everyone called the Crown House. Apparently, the last owner died in the house from carbon dioxide poisoning, but people who were there said they saw their face was literally destroyed. I'm talking skin melting off, blood and scratches all over their face. Sorry,
Oh,
that's so gross. Um, some rumors speculated the owner did some ritual type stuff, summoning the devil and stuff. Ever since then, everyone kind of stood away from the house. People who went in would never be the same. They would say they hear things that weren't even there, think things that weren't their thoughts. So me and my buddies thought it was a great idea to explore. Why would like just to start
no,
off,
just
if that's
no.
the stories you heard, why would you go in? Anyways,
Mhm.
and he said, "Let me tell you what I saw was horrific. I don't want to sound like the person who believes ghosts and stuff are real, but what happened was real and I have proof." Eric picked the lock to the front door. When we got in, the first thing we noticed was a smell rancid, like meat that has been left out for years. And though the blistering sun outside, it was freezing inside the house. And that's when it started. The whispers, faint enough that you couldn't make it out, was loud enough you knew it was there. Eric and John, I guess that's his friends, didn't hear it at first, but after a while they could. The lights weren't working, so we depended on the window light. Like, no, like I would literally just leave. We were in there for 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes this happened. We heard footsteps coming down the stairs. We ran to the nearest door, which was the basement. Like, why would you go to the basement? We were in darkness.
Oh,
Eric
for
screamed.
real.
Eric screamed, then John screamed. Later, they told me they heard a voice say my name. Then I felt a sharp pain in my arm. Something scratched me. Blood trickled down my arm. Something scratched John's face. We ran out there faster than ever. 2 years later, I found out it's for sale again. Then they said, "Good luck to
Oh
the
my god.
homeowners for 840 Rosenbaum Bridge. I'll be praying for you."
Right.
It's so scary.
That is really scary. I don't mess with anything that has to do with, like, the devil and stuff like that. That's
No.
scary to me. That's why, like, I don't really fuck with Doja anymore, um,
Mhm.
because I know that when you sing about stuff like that, and, same goes with, like, the opposite of, like, if you constantly have, like, affirmations in your music, that's what your subconscious is gonna, like, hold
Yeah.
on to. But same thing goes with negativity, so it's like I don't fuck with that. I don't want any of that energy coming into my life, so I just don't listen to her music anymore. But it's sad because I wanted to see her in concert, but
Mhm.
not anymore. But that's
I guess
really
you saved your
scary.
money.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's so scary. And I'm just like, sometimes I'm reading this and I'm like, there's so many like warning signs to not go into somewhere. Why do you
Dude,
go?
yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
could never. That's super creepy.
yeah.
Okay, I have one. It says alien slash paranormal encounter question mark. Can anyone shed some light on the experience I had around 15 years ago? I hadn't told anybody, but it comes to my mind every once in a while. So I was in bed with my then partner. I remember being awoken by bright lights coming from outside and I couldn't move it. It was almost as if I was stuck to the bed. Everything felt weird and I wanted to scream but nothing came out and I was just paralyzed. I then remember a feeling of trying to be dragged, and then when I couldn't move, or sorry, and then when I could move, I remember I dug my fingers into my then partner's back to stop myself from being taken.
Oh my
Then the
god.
feeling went away like nothing had happened. Was this aliens, sleep paralysis? It really freaked me out for years and it's never happened again.
Did they say if the partner
That's
woke up
creepy.
with, like, marks on them? Because if not, then it
No,
could
they
have been
didn't say
sleep
anything.
paralysis
Maybe.
or a ghost or aliens.
Or or aliens, who knows? But I remember I said this story before, but I was in my old room and my sister and I share a room. All I saw from my window was this bright light, but
Yeah.
instead of being there, paralysis or whatever, like, I walked towards I walked towards
You
the
could have
light.
got abducted. Maybe you did,
What if I got
and then you
abducted,
came back.
Lord?
Maybe this is not really you.
Maybe. Whoa.
It's just
That's
a
scary
different
to even
version of
think
you.
about. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it kinda
stop.
is. He swapped
Um,
you.
but that was, like, really a crazy experience. So
Mhm.
I don't know what it could have been.
It could have been anything, and it's so scary.
Yeah, I got another one. It says, Has anyone else experienced this?" So this has happened a few times now, but is it paranormal or coincidence? I suppose it remains to be seen. I've only had this happen twice, and both times were as clear as someone speaking it face to face. The first experience was when I was in bed and just drifting off to sleep. This was our first night in our new house. The voice said, "Happy to have you."
Oh.
Oh my god, right in my ear. That's so scary.
I'm moving
And
immediately.
to the point I could almost feel the breath. Absolutely not. The second time was worrying, and about a week ago when in deep sleep. I usually have very vivid dreams, but this particular night, the only thing I can remember was this one voice that said, 20th of the 12th, car accident.
What the fuck?
As I mentioned
Car
before, I was in
accident?
deep sleep, but when it said, something inside me screamed, remember it. The next day, and later on in that day for that matter, it hit me when what was said, and ever since then, I can't stop thinking about it. It didn't say who or what year or where, so it could just be a random weird dream. It does have Final Destination vibes, though. My question is, has anyone ever had anything like this? And was there truth to your own dream message?
That's so creepy.
That
Especially when
is
you just
creepy.
move somewhere, like, that it starts happening then, like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. I would be like, let me get out of this house right now.
No, literally. I've never personally I've experienced some things that, like, some dreams felt, like, real, but, like, never in that capacity, like, that type of dream.
Yeah, no, same. My dreams are always very vivid, but they're not like
Not someone
paranormal or
talking to
anything
me in
like
my
that.
ear.
Yeah, no.
Other than sleep paralysis, which, like, I still, like, don't know if it's, like, a dream or, like, what they are. Um, but, like, that's
Mm.
the closest I've had to that.
Yeah, I think I mean, I've never had like a dream where like I was like dreaming about something and then it like came true in real life.
Mhm.
Have
I've
you?
had a few of those. Um,
At least I
I
don't
don't remember
think
what
I
they
have.
were. I don't remember what they were.
I know it
Well,
happened to my sister though.
yeah. Okay, well, mine is kinda weird. It has to do with Justin Bieber. So it's so weird. So 2 nights before his show in Ottawa, I had, like, a very vivid dream of an exact outfit he wore at the show.
Mm.
So then I
Mhm.
told Audrey, my friend, whatever,
Mhm.
and I texted her. And I was like, "This is what Justin wore in my dream, so if he's wearing that, like, I'm psychic." And I was just, like, joking. And
Yeah.
then we get to the concert and he, like, pops up from, like, an airplane, and I kid you not, he's wearing exactly, like, what I saw and what I said.
Oh my
And it was,
gosh.
like, so fucking creepy because, like, he changes his outfits every show, so it's not like there was options for my brain to, like, pick from, like, how
Right.
Madison has, like, the same outfits, like, it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, it was, like, he just wears whatever he wants to wear. So that was the only
Mhm.
time that I can remember that I've, like, dreamt of something and then it actually, like, happened, which
That's
is so
creepy.
weird. Like, was
Yeah,
I
no,
in his
that's
mind?
creepy.
Like
Things like that, though, happen to me, like, in real life, but not, like, in
Mhm.
dreams. Like, if I
Yeah.
say something, like, and then, like, moments later it'll happen or, like, later
Mhm.
in the day it'll happen, but I don't think anything, like, from my dreams. But it did happen to my sister, though, and she had a dream before she was pregnant that she was gonna have a boy, and his name was Liam, and then she woke up, took a pregnancy test, and it was actually true, so
That's
and his
wild.
name's Liam, so
Yeah, it's so
yeah.
weird, like, what our, like, subconscious mind can do or think of.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Yeah. Okay, I found another one, I didn't read it, so I don't know if it's good, but it
Okay.
says, "Little girl who didn't exist." Hi all, this is my first time posting here, and I'm still a little wigged out. I'll try to be as clear and detailed as possible. Earlier today, I went to brunch at a friend's house. After I've been there for about an hour, a young couple I have never met before arrived. I was standing in the kitchen with a direct and clear view of the front door. If I were to walk straight from where I was standing, I'd walk right out the front door. I was only about 10 feet away from them. When they walked in, I saw a man, a pregnant woman, and a small a girl child. I'm sorry, this sounds funny, who looked to be about 2 to 3 years old. The little girl looked shy and was holding a stuffed animal in her hand. The two adults came into the kitchen where I was standing, and we introduced ourselves. The wife and I share the same first name. Not sure if this matters at all, but I thought I'd share since our name is not one that is super common. They were lovely people and we had a great convo. After introductions, we all grabbed seats in the open dining room living area. I didn't see the little girl anywhere, but assumed she was off playing with one of the cats at the house. The wife mentioned she was 36 weeks pregnant and expecting their first child to be here any day now. At that time, I whispered to my boyfriend who was sitting next to me, asking where the little girl went. He was confused as fuck. I then discreetly mentioned to my friend that I thought I saw them come in with a little girl. He was also confused as fuck and said there was no little girl there and he had no idea what I was talking about. I do not do drugs. I'm prescribed Adderall for narcolepsy, but I take it as prescribed. I've never experienced seeing or hearing anything like this before. I had a mimosa at the brunch, but was far from being drunk. I do consider myself extremely spiritual. I don't know if I'm using the proper terms, but I am wondering if maybe I saw the ghost of a child from a previous miscarriage, or maybe my friend's house is just haunted, or maybe I'm losing it. What do you think?
Oh,
Not her justifying all these
no, bro,
things.
that was actually funny. Um, that story actually reminds me of my aunt. I know I'm gonna get this wrong because I don't exactly know. I can't remember it, like,
Mhm.
perfectly, but she before she had her, oldest her first kid,
Mhm.
she had a miscarriage, and I believe it was twins, but
Okay.
how she knew she was gonna have twins was, like, prior to finding out, there were twin girls standing,
Oh my
um
god. Yeah.
yeah, like, on the stairs, and she saw them. Something like that happened, and I thought that that was, like, really creepy, but low key, like, what the story was, so I don't know, it could have
Yeah.
been like a miscarriage situation thing,
It could
especially
have.
since the person who was well, there was a pregnant woman, so who
Yeah.
knows?
That's wild. I don't know. Whenever I think of kids in these situations, it kind of scares me.
Yeah. Well, I know my former, cheerleading coach, her house was built on, I don't know, specific land or whatever,
Mhm.
and so she sees, like, a little, like, Indian boy run around her
Mhm.
house, which is
No, I'd move.
crazy, and
I would
I
move.
would have moved, but she's totally fine. It was funny, there was one time, all of the cheerleaders went over for, like, a get together or whatever,
Mhm.
and I don't think actually anybody knows this because we never told anyone, but my friend at the time, we were trying to play a prank on everyone else, thinking that it was the little boy who shut the basement door.
Not that.
And so we were downstairs in the basement, we shut it so hard from our end, like, we, like, closed it really fast, and it shut so hard. Everyone upstairs started screaming, like, it was so funny, but it was not the little boy, it was me.
Not that.
And still to this day, nobody knows, so
That's crazy.
there you go.
Crazy.
Creepy stories, though.
Yeah. I found another one.
Okay.
Okay, it says hotel story. The situation happened when my wife and I were still girlfriend boyfriend in college. She was driving from Texas to Colorado and stopped over in New Mexico at a local hotel. It was 8 p.m. or so. This is where it gets sketchy. She had her cat with her, and he was acting extremely stressed, growling and hissing and hiding under the bed. And then the vent cover for the AC just flies off the wall. My wife puts it back, flies off again. She goes to the front office and complains. She effectively told them, I know this sounds crazy, but it's actually a genuine issue. And with a level of understanding, the staff just kind of told her they can't really help the issue. It's always been a problem. But they gave her duct tape to hold it on. She tapes it completely around. It fires off again. She really gave up at this point. Now this is where it gets really sketchy. I get a phone call from my wife and she isn't talking. I assume it's a butt dial since her old phone was junky, but then I hear something muffled talking. Sounded like two men talking quietly to each other, but it was so muffled I couldn't make it out. Then I hear the muffled crying of a woman, also muffled like she was either bound or gagged or the phone was under a blanket or something. She's crying and the men are talking. I put it on speaker. My friend and my mom also heard it. I hang up and call her back immediately. Is someone with you? No. Is the TV on or was it on? No, I'm laid down for bed. Then you didn't even leave the room recently? Nope. I didn't tell her until the next morning. But yeah, I was always pretty skeptical, but this situation was definitely deliberate. So I guess he thinks someone in the room that was a
Yeah,
ghost called. That's like, I don't know.
that's scary. When it comes to, like, voices and stuff like that, that freaks me out.
Yeah, because it's not just like an image, it's like
You can hear
more.
it,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, I
Ew, like,
wouldn't.
I can't even imagine. Ugh. Yeah, my cheer coach has so many of those stories, and she said that once she was laying in bed and she felt like something was above her,
Mhm.
and she looked up and saw, like, a figure and something about how it started talking or something like that,
Oh,
but
no.
super crazy. Like,
Like,
"Why are you still in your house?
yeah, no. With
Like,
my
get
sleep
out."
paralysis, like, I've heard voices, but it wasn't like they weren't talking to me. I only heard
Mhm,
voices once, the other times it was just, like, the figure, but the only time I heard voices was, like it was really weird. Like, I can still see it. There was something at the edge of my bed, and there was 2 kids jumping on the bed, but I didn't feel them
mhm,
jumping, so I don't know what was going on, but they were jumping
uh-huh,
and, like, giggling. So they weren't talking, but they were laughing. It was
mhm.
fucking creepy, like, I was like, "Wake me the fuck up right now." Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I wanna know, like, more about sleep paralysis and, like, where it comes from, but I'm also, like, scared to, like, know more about it.
Yeah, that's creepy. I've only had one other friend experience that. No, actually 2 other friends experience
You're
that, and
the
I'm like,
worst thing.
"Mm," it's like, sounds so scary.
Yeah, and each night I go to sleep, I'm like, "Please, not tonight. Please don't happen
Aw.
tonight." Yeah.
I found one that kind of relates to, like, giggling and the laughter.
Oh my god, okay.
It's called Super Freaked Out Disembodied Laughter. Hi, everyone. I'm pretty new to Reddit. I've lurked a few times but never dove deeper and never needed to. But I was referred to this sub by my friend. So I live alone. It's never been an issue. I've had boyfriends say I should at least live with a roommate, but I never felt the need. I've lived in the apartment for almost a year and a half now. It's old, but not super old. Maybe 60 years at most. That's pretty old.
Mhm.
Anyway, I was at home yesterday after work, winding down for bed. I turned off my TV, all my lights, and headed to brush my teeth and clean up. At this point, everything was off. I did my usual routine, and as I was heading out of the bathroom to my bedroom across the hall, I heard a small thump in my living room. I figured it was one of my cats, so I went to check and see if anything was damaged, as my cats tend to be mischievous. I walked in, flicked on the lights, and saw nothing. Nothing was out of place. However, my cat was losing his mind and all squared up at a corner of the room. He was facing the direction of my room, the way I had just come from. I know my cats very well, and yes, they sometimes stare at walls, but he was freaked the hell out. Very out of character for him. My other cat was spooked, but not nearly as much. After a couple seconds of assessing the situation, I heard crystal clear a laugh come from my bathroom. It didn't sound evil, but it certainly didn't sound nice. I live in an apartment, so I know sounds happen, but a few things got my skin crawling here. First, I know what my neighbors sound like. It was definitely not them. Second, I'm located on the corner of the building. The direction the sound came from would either be in the stairwell or outside the building, but it wasn't muffled. It was clear. And finally, it was obvious where the sound came from inside my apartment. I live on the second floor, and there's no way to get that clear of a sound in my apartment without being inside my apartment. And finally, today at work, I thought I heard the same laugh in the bathroom at work, very faintly outside the door. I'm incredibly distraught and freaked out,
I'd be freaked out
which I
too,
can't
especially if
be.
I lived alone.
Yeah, I would be so freaked out.
Like, I would cry, I would not be able to sleep either, like, I would need someone to come, like, sleep with me.
Yeah, especially since it was like a clear, like, sound
Yeah, and, like,
and laugh
laughing
and
just gives
not,
me, like, a weird vibe, like, I don't know, it's kinda creepy.
yeah, like, I'm sure I've said this before, but there's one time I was walking my dog late at night. I was with a friend, and I don't know why we were going out so late to walk her, but we went all the way down my neighborhood. And it was like the first house. We stopped because we heard, in horror movies that like childlike laugh?
Yeah.
That is what we heard, bro. And we ran. I've never ran that fast in my life. I was so scared. And then I ran into like another driveway because I was like, I'm so scared. I'm going to call my dad. So I called him and he picked us up. And literally, my house was like five houses down. But like, I was so terrified. And it was the scariest thing I think I've ever
Oh my god, yeah.
experienced.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I love, like, true crime and, like, paranormal stuff, but, like, I don't like when it happens to me or,
To
like, when I
me, yeah.
or, like, whatever, like, if it's on the TV or, like, whatever movie, like, I'm fine. But when it's to me, like, that's a whole different situation.
No, yeah. And you always think like, "Oh, it's never gonna happen to me," like, you hear the stories or whatever, but when that happened, I was like, "What? Like,
Mhm.
hello? Like, what is happening?"
Yeah.
Especially because like, there's no kids at that house, so, like,
Yeah, so where did it come from?
they wouldn't be playing, like, a prank, like, nobody really our age, like, older and older couples, so and they came from, like, their garage, like, it was really creepy. Ugh.
Ew.
I don't even like thinking about it because it was really actually scary, and to know that it was just 5 houses down that way. I mean, the houses are
Yeah.
separated, but, like, that's scary.
Yeah. Not a vibe.
No, just evil laughs in general is terrifying.
Yeah. Um Okay, I'll read one more. This one kind
Okay.
of looks long. It says, "My ghost is an asshole." My ghost is an asshole. My house is haunted or has some kind of spirit attached to it. I even saw it one day. It was between my house and the old church next door. See, I wouldn't live next to a church or like a cemetery. Absolutely not. Um, this thing was walking between them and it walked strangely and it was very hunched. As I got to the end of my yard, it looked up at me and this thing had zero facial features. I was not impressed. Just saw it once though. Here's our activity. Sitting in my room with the Roku remotes on a chair beside me, my TV started switching between apps on the Roku. I don't know how to say that. I was even picking them from the home screen. It was weird as fuck. My little sister and I were hanging out in the basement because that's where her room is. There was a cup sitting on the table, and as I'm sitting on the chair, talk to her, it flies across the room like someone threw it. We were both silent for a couple minutes, and then she told me she finally believed me that we're haunted. Fast forward to this morning, I'm sitting in my chair with the window by the window smoking a cigarette. My dog is laying on my bed sleeping per usual. I don't have a dresser, I have a shelving unit I put folded clothes on. As I'm smoking my cig, admiring the beauty outside our house, I heard a loud crash. I look over, my entire shelving unit had fallen to the ground as if someone pushed it. Yes, it was put together properly and has been holding up since I purchased it 5 years ago. At first, I didn't mind the ghost. It's played a few other tricks like hiding things from us, sounding like the children are playing when nobody's home, calling our names and no one else is around or awake, and stuff like changing channels or throwing cups. I would mind that.
I would mind
Um,
it too.
yeah, it clearly wants to make itself known. I think I'll use the law of dominion. So if it's bad, it can go away, and if it isn't, I guess it can enjoy fucking up my house in the afterlife. And then they also said my niece just told me a few days ago she made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and left it on a plate on the stove while she did something else. She came back and the plate was on the floor. Nobody had been in my kitchen. She was here with me, just home, and I hide in my room. And then like a comment was like, "Do you think it's your house or the church?" I'm like, I feel like
I think
because
it's the
there's so
church.
many like, yeah, there's so many like spirits or like dead people that, like, go in and out of churches that, like, you never know if some of them get trapped in there. I don't know.
Mhm. That's
It's so
scary.
scary. Even, like, when they were like, "Oh, like, I don't really mind the whispers and all," I was like,
Like, you don't how would
"Bro,
you
I
not
would
mind
mind."
that?
Yeah, like, I would
Actually,
absolutely
you know
mind.
what? I can't say shit because there's low key sometimes where things happen in my house. Hasn't happened recently, but where I was just like I would say out loud, "Okay, you can stop now," because like I would just get annoyed. But
Mhm.
like I don't know. It's really just my room.
Is
Actually,
this
no,
your
it's my
room?
house. No, it's my house.
It's so
But it
creepy.
hasn't happened in a while.
That's
But
good.
yeah, that's really, really creepy.
Yeah.
They need to
Yeah.
get that house
Bro,
cleaned
if someone
or
threw a
what is
cup
it?
across my room,
Sage it?
saged. Yeah.
That's so scary. No,
Yeah.
I remember I was at my friend's house and they named their ghost because apparently it would
Nope.
do stuff like that. And I was over, sleeping over at her house. I was in the kitchen. Was I in the kitchen? I think I was in the living room. From the kitchen, I just heard all the clean dishes that were like on like the side. It just like went and fell into the sink. And I was like, that's so scary.
Yeah, I know, like,
I just wanted to leave.
I would too.
'Cause, like, how does that just randomly
And
happen?
how do
Like,
you stay there
obviously
and,
it's
like, be content? Like, I know obviously, I know it's not
yeah,
easy to just, like, get up and, like, leave a house. I know.
mhm.
But I would do everything in my power to leave, like, I'm not staying there.
No, yeah, I would too. It's creepy.
Yeah.
But also, that's why I have to be very careful when, like, thrifting because I know that things can attach itself to objects, so you don't wanna bring, like, things into your house and just, like,
How do you,
be
like, be
attached to
careful
that
in that
thing. Well,
aspect?
I don't know, I just, like if I have a bad vibe from whatever I get, then I'm just like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get it, obviously.
Okay.
So,
I know some people,
just
like,
the vibes.
literally sage all their thrift stuff, but I don't have,
Oh,
like,
I've never
energy to
done
do
that.
that. Me either. Maybe I should now that
No,
I'm thinking of it. Especially, I
maybe.
feel like it's more like I feel like things attach themselves more to, like, objects than, like, clothing. Like, when people
That's
buy,
true.
like, mirrors from, like, thrifts or, like, couches or whatever, I feel like
Yeah.
those have more of, like, attachments to it than
I don't
the
think
piece
I'd
of
ever
clothing, but
buy a
I don't know.
mirror.
Oh, and me either.
That'd be kinda creepy, and that would scare me if anything was attached. But I've bought picture frames, and I'm looking right now. I bought this, like, bunny,
Mhm.
um, I think that's all, just, like, picture frames. I lied. I did buy a mirror at
You
Goodwill.
did?
It's outside my room.
Oh. Well, if you ever see a face in it, you know why.
Oh my god, I'm scared, and I'm not putting it in my room. Maybe that's why I haven't put it in my room because I was,
Maybe you
like,
just knew.
subconsciously knowing that it
Yeah,
was gonna scare me. I'm gonna
maybe.
throw it out.
Not that. Is it
Give
big?
it back to Goodwill. Uh, mm, kind of. Not like a floor mirror thing. Like, I
Okay,
can
like
hang
a
it on
half.
the
Okay.
wall.
When we get off this, I'm gonna hear things.
Little scared. I know. Also, I'm home alone.
Oh my god. I'm with my dog. My parents are at a
Well, yeah, I'm with
concert,
my dog.
so I'm technically home alone too.
That's fine. My house also just, like we're in a very secluded area. Like,
Mhm.
literally, there's fields behind me well, behind me that way. In front of
Yeah.
me, obviously, houses, but there's, like, a pond over there and, like, a creek and whatever, but there's just, like, fields. And so we're kind of, like, in the middle of nowhere, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like anything could happen. Not even paranormal, but just, like, anything could
Anything
happen.
in general.
So I just don't like being home alone. I don't feel like anything's gonna happen, like, I don't feel scared, but I just don't like being home alone.
Yeah, no, I, like, didn't like being home alone either, and then this one time when my parents went out of town and my brother was, like, always out till, like, 4 in the morning, I got, like, so stressed, so I bought a camera for the front of my house so now I can see because I was, like, always like, "I don't wanna go to sleep.
Yeah,
I don't know who's gonna come here." Obviously, nothing's ever happened, knock on wood, but, yeah, so now I have a camera so I can see in the front. Whenever I hear a weird noise, I go look. I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, no one's there."
No, I really only get scared when um, my oldest dog, because if Coco will bark for, like, random little things at night, like a
Mhm.
squirrel or something, but, like, Bailey will bark if there's, like, actual, like, danger,
Cat
so I'm
barks all the time, so I
I'm
don't know. And
relying on
sometimes he,
him.
like, stares at the wall and barks, and I'm like, "What is he barking at?"
Aw,
But now he's, like, fine, so I guess we're fine. He's
that's
sleeping.
good. No weird things happening.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. I
Fun.
think that's all for this episode,
Yeah,
y'all.
I can't read anymore, it's a little stressful.
I know, actually, I was going through kinda reading some of them earlier, and there was one where I kinda got a little scared, and I was like,
What was it
"If I keep
about?
reading, I'm just gonna scare myself more." Well,
Mhm.
it's in Spanish. It's called La
Okay.
Llorona, and it's basically, like, this girl in, like, a white gown with, like, long black hair, right? And she's, like, snatches kids.
Okay. Nope.
Scary,
Yeah.
bro. I was reading it, I was like, "No," like, I'm so scared.
Oh my god, yeah,
So I didn't
no.
wanna
I think I can
continue.
only take so much, and then I'm
Yeah,
like, enough.
yeah.
Even though it's so weird because, like, when I watch movies, I don't care. It's just, like, when I read things or, like, when things happen to me, it's just, like, I have a limit,
No, I don't like scary movies like that.
but I love them. They're so fun, but not a lot of people like them.
Mm-mm. It's just too scary for me. I don't mind, like, the funny kinda jump scare ones, but I don't know. When things are, like, based on real stories or, like,
Mhm.
whatever, I'm just like, I don't even wanna bother.
Yeah, no, I feel
Just too
that.
scary.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for listening. I hope you
Yeah.
aren't scared. Um,
Yeah, and if you are, sleep with your light on tonight.
yeah. And if you've ever experienced anything like paranormal, please tell us because I'm very interested in hearing other people's stories.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. And you can follow us everywhere and leave a review.
Leave
Or
a
I'm always
review,
bad at the outros. Like, what's wrong with me?
yeah.
And yeah, that's
Come
that.
back